G'day everybody and welcome to my Aussie gardening kitchen. If it's your first time here, my name's Darren, but please call me Daz. In this video today, I'm going to take you through the steps of how I plant onions. Now, for this episode, I'm actually planting red onions. They're a California red, but this applies to all types of onions: brown onions, red onions, white onions, yellow onions. It's all pretty much the same thing when it comes to growing onions. Now, when it comes to growing onions, the first thing you need to consider is what onions are right for your area. So you do need to check out what works for you and your zone, and that's all according to the sunlight, because it's the sunlight that's going to help the green come up and make all those different layers of the onion that form around and make a bulb. So it's really important that you know what type of onions you need to grow in your particular zone. So in the USA, for instance, they have 3 zones where it would be a short day, medium day, or a long day onion. Now, the reason for that is that it all comes down to how far away you are from the equator. So for people in the USA, for instance, you need to check out what onion is definitely better in your zone. And also everyone else around the world, just have a look at, you can ask at a local nursery or have a look online and find the information that you need to find out what onions suit your area best. So if you're unfamiliar with growing onions, I'll give you a basic rundown. And first of all, they start from seed. Now, where do the seeds come from? They come from a packet, of course. I'm kidding. Well, they do. And here we go. Here's some seeds here in my hand, little black things, but they actually come from a flower from the onion itself. So if you were to grow your onions and just keep on growing them, eventually what will happen is you'll have a nice green stalk come up the middle, it'll grow a pod on the top, and then eventually that pod will start to open and there'll be a white bushy thing coming out with little pods, and they have the little black seeds inside. And those seeds inside, when they're ready, they'll be black, and you can squeeze them out and put them aside, store them for next season, and away you go. And that's what I actually do here with my onions. But in the case of the red onions, I didn't save seed for my last batch, so I'm using a commercial variety here. But with my brown onions, they're all from seed from previous years. So if you're going to sow your seeds, the first thing you're going to need is a really good seed raising mix. I used to make my own, but I've since discovered this commercial one, and I just use this all the time now. It is so light and fluffy. It's full of really good things. It's got coir peat in it. It's got some other small additives to it that are organic, such as a fertilizer that is like a slow release fertilizer that's not too strong, and it's not going to burn the roots of the little seedlings. So I guess it's going to depend on whether you want to grow a lot of onions and store them, or if you want to just grow some for a small family that you can sort of grab every now and then when you need them. So if you want to just say a small amount for an average family, I recommend that you grab yourself something like this. As I said, fill it up, pat it down, stir the top gently, give it a shake to even it out, and then just grab your seeds and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. Maybe grab another one if you want to do another half a dozen, another one if you want another half a dozen, and then just get your seed raising mix, sprinkle it over the top, pat it down so it covers those seeds. You're only putting them in very shallow. Give that a watering in, and then just keep that moist and just wait and be patient, keeping the water up to it, not too soggy. And in no time, in a couple of weeks time, you should start to see them all start to pop up, and you should get nice little onion sizes about that big after a few weeks. Once that's done, you can just gently take them out, careful not to damage the roots, and you can plant them into a garden bed that you've already got prepared, and away you go. That is it. That's the way you have your onions. Okay, so this is my failed lasagna bed. I say failed because I just didn't do enough layers, and when I tried planting into it last year, it just didn't work. So it's now been sitting here for probably a good 10 months. And what's happened now is it's all broken down nicely into a really nice organic matter. So I'm not going to dig this up. I just want to leave it as a really nice base. And then what I have done is I've brought in some soil. It's a mix of organic compost that I make here, plus soils from the yard. And I've just recycled some soil from another container where I was doing some container growing. I'll mix that together. And then the plan is to just put it on top, and I'll plant into that with these onions here. and then they can grow in that and hopefully tap down into this good stuff down below. And all this under here will be full of all the good nutrients and beneficial microbes and things that grow in the soil. So that's the plan, and hopefully it'll work and I'll get some nice red onions out of this crop. So I'm just laying them out into the rows just to get an idea of how many I've got and how the spacing will be. So there you go, that's the red onions put in. That's this batch done. I've got another batch of seeds going at the moment, and there'll be another crop that I'll have to put somewhere else. So now I need to put the wire across to stop these girls from getting in here and digging around. And also I'll be putting sugarcane mulch after this, and I'll be watering these in. And in that water, I'm just going to put a bit of diluted fish emulsion just to give them a bit of a head start. And I forgot to mention that with the soil, I've actually put some blood and bone into the soil already. So that blood and bone fertilizer just gives them a bit of a head start. So there we go, it's all watered in, it's all mulched. Now the purpose of the mulch is to suppress weeds and keep in the moisture, and the mulch will break down eventually into organic matter into the soil, which is fantastic. So yep, all done. Just have to sit back and wait now and reap the rewards when they're ready. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching this video. If it is your first time growing onions, I wish you all the very best of luck, and hopefully this has helped you. It is quite easy. So get out there, give it a go, because once you go and harvest those onions yourself, it is so rewarding to know that you've grown them yourself. If you did enjoy this video, please consider giving a thumbs up just down there below. It does tell YouTube that the video was worthwhile and people are watching. And also, if you do subscribe, there's a red button there and there's a bell beside it. If you tick the bell, that gives you notifications of when all my new videos come out, and also when I go live, and you can chat with me live on YouTube. And also, don't forget to leave any comments down below. I read all my comments and I do reply to them. So if you have any questions at all, pop them down below and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Thanks very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.